So this is a bit more. This isn't sort of update because it is something that I feel like I need to talk about. So obviously, I can look at the thing that I'm going to talk about in several angles. Most of which I can't because I am not an expert. You can either talk medically or historically, which is sort of history of Asperger's. If I'm correct, I'm talking something about like old-fashioned gestures and Tudor England and something connected about being somewhat of those gestures and maybe being either somewhat being what the clowns are, or what you would say is sort of maybe some people who are like doing it. But again, but for me, I am not an expert in either of these fields. What I am going to say is this. I was really intrigued is probably not the right word, but shocked when I was like, because I came across a feed, it's by one of my people who I watch, and I would name so I don't exactly remember, and it was one of the things where I was like, he does the things with the president, etc., etc., and one of the jokes he made was like, Tylenol, and which is to cause Asperger's. And recently, the president said that like, oh, we have evidence that if a woman is pregnant and they have Tylenol, the child is more likely to have Asperger's. I am not going to bring up the medical field. I am not an expert on that. But I was shocked. And a lot of people are like, oh, if you're not an expert in the medical field, why are you talking about this? So I have said I am expert. I am on the autistic spectrum. I know I keep saying Asperger's. It's not Asperger's, it's autistic spectrum. It was changed a while back for a number of reasons. I was diagnosed late, and I should name it correctly. Autistic spectrum, sorry. I think I said this to a couple other people before I say this, because I'm not going to be, and it's by this person, and the person is Steve! It'd be really, really bad. Anyway, there is a thing where this sort of, I was like, wait, because there's been a history of being neurodiverse isn't a thing that could be caused. The cause of being on the autistic spectrum isn't anything, because the autistic spectrum isn't a thing. It is a sort of way that sort of the mind develops in a way that changes how you sort of see things. And there is more technical language to it. I'm not claiming otherwise. Again, I'm not a scientist. I am a guy that talks about films and TV very badly. But when I heard it's like, we have discovered the cause of sort of being autistic and being on the autistic spectrum, it's like, it's this. And it's like, here we go. Another one of this sort of like, oh, here's this. And I just wanted to say it because I think this is just frustrating that people are like, and this causes it. There's a lot of things that could have an impact on this fully, and some things that are connected to it, but it's not as simple as this. I just want to say my 2 piece on it, because there's some things that I feel like I can't say because it's not my story, but this just really, I just don't know why. Yeah, but sorry if it's very ranty. I try and be fun. This came up to my feed, I'm like, great. But I just wanted to put my 2 piece in. So yeah, good night.